MOVEit Transfer has 5 different levels of users. These various levels can populate rights across the tool, whether you have a small installation or a larger enterprise level use of this tool. Even if a user has a set user type, additional rights can be assigned on an individual basis that are not associated with the standard user type. The highest level of these users is called sysadmin. The main function of this user type is to configure the system-wide functionality, such as antivirus or single sign-on integration. This user is not designed for day-to-day use. The day-to-day administrative functions of MOVEit Transfer are executed by the type called admin. The admin user usually has access to individual sections, known as orgs, within MOVEit Transfer. Most often, these admins are in charge of managing users, folder security settings, and permissions. While not as powerful as the admin type is another user type known as file admin. This user has some rights of the admin, but they can only be applied in specific folders. Most often these are not people, but internal automated clients that require access to folders and files within the system. The basic user is the most common type of user that is found in MOVEit Transfer. The permissions for this user are explicit only. They will not inherit permissions beyond those granted to all users through the security policies. In short, the basic user will only have access to their home folder. A temp user, like their name implies, are temporary user accounts that are usually associated with MOVEit Transfer's ad hoc functionality. Most often, these have very short lifespans and have limited access to secure messaging and ad hoc file functionality. A variety of user types within MOVEit Transfer that are not temporary users have the ability to gain more rights when they are made part of a group. Groups bring sets of rights to its membership. Additionally, if a user is made an admin of a group, they receive additional rights regarding settings and influencing the membership of the group and abilities of that group. So that user will have admin rights to define what permissions the specific group should have. When looking at the user page, you can identify groups of users by using a filter. The filters will target the users that you're interested in. The filter options appear at the bottom of the list of users, and each of the filter options have a drop-down menu to choose values and apply to the way that you see your users inside MOVEit Transfer. If you want to find a user has had an account created but has never signed on to the system, choose Not Signed On in the status filter and apply. The results will return grouped by the values you place in the filter. When you're ready to add a new user, begin the process by clicking Add User button. The admin and group admin can add users from scratch by entering their username, full name, email address, permission level, and any other account details required. If you create a user in this method, it will require additional configuration after the creation process to make sure the rights are in correct alignment. More common is to clone an existing account to make a new user. To do this, simply click the clone icon. As the window opens, you'll notice that some of these details for the new user will need to be specified during the creation process, but most of the settings will be inherited from the cloning process. We recommend establishing a template user for cloning. To make a template, build a basic user from scratch with the desired settings. Change the account status to template from the profile page. A user with the account status of templates are not allowed to log into or receive notifications and are not subject to the expiration policy established within MOVEit Transfer. The most common risk to MOVEit transfer is the mismanagement of user account permissions and inactive users staying valid within your system. It is a best practice to manage permission levels, status and expiration, and access policies for users from the settings page. Once the system-wide setting is in place, you can adjust individual rights if needed. The next action that should be taken is configuring the expiration policy for all users. If not inactivated, a user will remain until it is told to be removed. We suggest setting up an expiration policy system-wide on the settings page to reduce your risks.